thousands of self-help books about finding motivation, setting goals, creating habits. And to be honest, they're all pretty bad. They just all say the same thing. Once you've read one, you've read them all. But there is one idea that comes from these types of books that I do find quite interesting. Is it better to be motivated because you love the process of doing something, or because you're expecting some sort of result? Intrinsic versus external motivation. My first thought is that particularly goal-oriented professions like athlete, entrepreneur, politician, they'd be much more driven by the results, where maybe more artistic, sensitive jobs, they'd be more driven by some kind of intrinsic love for the process. But the more I think of it, the more I actually think that that take is pretty reductive. Every job, every profession, every goal requires a balance of both. Like, think of all the horrible billionaires that run our world. They didn't just dream of being the most rich, most powerful people in the world and then it just happened. You need to be in love with coding, with the process of working hard, with the process of making companies. Similarly, if you're an artist, an actor, a musician, well, maybe you start out purely because you love the craft and you love the process of making things. If you want to turn into your job, eventually you're going to have the pressure of making some money. If you're an actor making the movie, preparing for a part, that's the process, but talk shows, press junkets, award shows, that's the result. There's no one in this world who can exist just being all one or the other. If you want to be a professional skier, you can't just ski all day. You've got to enter some competitions, you've got to make new skis, start selling some sort of ski brand. You've got to find a way to turn it into a living. It's not just going to happen because you want it to happen. It's relevant to all of us. What's the best way to chase our goals? Is it to apply some kind of outcome-driven, results-based thinking? To just fall in love with the process, do it every day, see what happens? It's a question that affects us all. See, I do like to think that making these videos comes from a very intrinsic place, and I do think that it does. I don't really focus too much on strategy, on what's going to get the most clicks, but that might change in the future. See, making all of these little videos has somehow landed me a full-time job making videos, building out a new channel. It's not going to be on this channel. It's still in the works what it's going to be named, but hopefully it's linked somewhere below. It's a channel about local news and things happening in New York, interviews with people, community groups, all about getting people more engaged with what's going on in their local community. And that's really cool. But the whole thing has got me thinking a little bit. Why do I make these videos? And for that I want to talk a little bit about intrinsic and extrinsic value, how it relates to me. I run multiple times a week. I do it for most of the year, and I have done for the last number of years. The only reason why I still do it most days is because I love it. But I didn't always love it. The reasons I started running were definitely extrinsic or external. I wanted to be able to say that I'd ran a marathon. I wanted to be able to tell people, I wanted to try and impress people. As you might expect, given that I wasn't yet a runner and I didn't train properly, that race went terribly and took a while to recover from, but I did it. The outcome that I wished to happen of being able to tell people I ran a marathon, I got that, but I didn't feel particularly good about it. It was only years later, after I'd actually learned to enjoy running, that I signed up to do a marathon again, and sure enough, the outcome was a much faster marathon time because I actually enjoyed the training. But this isn't a video about running. I've already made a long video about running a year ago, so this is much more a video about making videos. Before I tried filmmaking, my big creative side pursuit was photography. It started definitely intrinsic. I got a camera, I'd go out for walks, I'd take a bunch of photos, I'd take photos of my friends, I'd take photos on trips, I'd sit down, I'd edit them and I'd share them, and I really liked that. It was only after a few years of doing that that I thought maybe I could turn photography into a full-time job. I started DMing every photographer that I followed on Instagram, had Zoom calls, I met photographers for coffee, and they all pretty much told me the same thing, that I was super unqualified. It's a really hard thing to do to make a living. Loads of people want to make a living by taking photos, so you got to be really, really good or really lucky or strategic in some other way. So I managed to get a job that was photography adjacent, working for a design magazine, but mainly writing and sneaking in my photos into my articles whenever I could. Can you guys hear that plane? Fast forward another couple of years until October 2024 when I moved to New York, and I followed the exact same trajectory, but this time with video making. I decided before I had even really made any videos that I wanted a full-time job making videos. I was going to be a filmmaker, a visual storyteller. I just hadn't yet made anything. I was driven by what I thought was going to be the outcome, making videos for a living, before I'd really gotten the intrinsic motivation of just loving how to put these little videos together. And there's another factor at play. I knew I wanted to make videos, but I was way too scared to post them online because I thought my friends would see them and think they were cringy. So I thought if I just get a job making videos, I'll be able to make videos, and then I'll be able to post them and it won't be cringy because I'm getting paid and it's my job. But that's obviously so backward. So my strategy was move to New York, get a job in a restaurant, and apply for every job that you possibly can that involves anything to do with a camera. But I knew I couldn't just write cover letters and resumes because I didn't have the experience to back it up. So I decided to spend a lot of time and effort into making these videos about myself, these like cover letter videos for these different jobs. I made one for the New York Times, for this architecture firm that were looking for a videographer. I made like 4 of these. And they were terrible. There's no story, it's just me trying to sell myself. They're tough to watch, but it did teach me, at least, that it verified that I do enjoy, you know, planning these videos, filming these videos, editing these videos. And at least it gave me something to start to show people. And I realized after I showed a couple of friends and my family the videos, they were like, oh, this is actually cool. And it gave me the confidence I needed to just start making videos that I wanted to make, to start going off intrinsically what I wanted to do, which was just make videos and put them online, and then stop caring what people may or may not think, because like, why would that matter? So from then on, from February last year, for pretty much the whole year, I was really making videos based off intrinsically whatever the hell I wanted to make. They were like personal essays, I don't know, something about poetry, or like interviewing my friends about their experiences with emigration, and then a couple about topics, like one about Mark Zuckerberg and one about Zohran Mamdani's campaign. And the one about Zohran Mamdani's mayoral campaign, that one took off out of nowhere. Got loads of views, got like over 100,000 views. But the thing about making a video that gets a lot of views comparatively to the views I was getting before is that the results-driven, outcome-driven process started seeping in again, where suddenly I started thinking, well, if this type of video gets this amount of views, then maybe if I make more videos like that, then they'll also get a lot of views. And I did make another video that was very similar to the first one, and it did get a lot of views, and it verified that that's something I can do. Another plane! So many planes! And for the first time since those job application videos, did I start to feel the results-driven motivation seep in. But it didn't feel the same. It didn't feel like I was making that second video because I was intrinsically interested by what was going on or the process. I knew if I made a video it was going to get a lot of views. And I'm trying to avoid that. I'm trying to avoid that. I kind of forgot about this video. I remember filming it on a snowy weekend in the depths of winter, whereas now obviously we're in peak summer. The vibes in Prospect Park have completely changed since I filmed that video. Now I remember filming that whole thing, I remember editing the whole thing and being happy with it, but I didn't want to post it because I was worried that it would be hypocritical. I feared that I was seeking external validation for this new job before I even had any work to show for it. So I scrapped the video. But now a few months have passed and I'm delighted with how the new job's going. There's a couple of videos up. It's called Third Place. I'll link the channel in the description below. But after rewatching what I said last winter, I now have a new question. Is it possible to be someone who makes and shares videos and actually not care about external validation? And I think the answer is no. As much as I'd like the videos I make to be driven purely by an inner purpose, I know deep down that I want it to be good. I want feedback on it. I want other people to think that it's good. I want people to like it. And I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with that. I think anyone who makes things, who shares things, any creative, any artist, just has to live with that. We're living in weird times where everyone's an artist or a creator to an extent. We all curate our social media feeds. We all have personal brands. We all have our Instagram accounts. And let's be honest, if there wasn't anyone on the other side to be pressing like on the things that we shared, would we still be pressing post? I don't know. But with regards to creating YouTube videos, I think it only starts to be a problem when you're making things that you don't care about at all, purely because you know that there's an audience there and it's going to get clicks and views and you can monetize it. I think if you reach that point, then you're in trouble and you really have to start to question whether that's how you want to spend your time. But as long as you're making videos that you like, I think trying to build an audience and turn your hobby into your job, there's merit to that and it's worth the time. There's nothing inherently wrong with that. At least I don't think so. That's kind of it for this video. I have nothing else to say about the topic. I think it's good to be intrinsically motivated for as long as you can, but eventually you're going to have to find the balance between the two. But it's definitely worth being conscious of. That's my take, anyway. Thanks for watching. I wonder how this one looks. If it looks as cool as it feels. Probably not. Whoa. Okay, so many planes and helicopters.